Income always reflects identity. What does that mean? It means who you're showing up as in this world is going to be that the result you get in your income is because of how you're showing up. So we're going to dive into that today. I am Maria Condi, your host of the show. Welcome back. I'm a life and business strategist, and I help people get out of their own way, get on start, getting into action, and making money and living the life that they want. I'm a minimalist that loves luxury. And that's what today is all about. It is about having luxury in your life, maybe when you can't even afford it. So let's dive into this today, okay? It is, everyone has a different definition of luxury because it isn't always about Gucci bags. It could be something different for every single person. So first off, you got to identify what luxury is to you. And here's the thing, if you've never really experienced a lot of luxury in your life, something luxury to you, this is kind of funny because I actually heard this from another person in my life that, we're talking about visualizing what kind of car you want, right? Well, they had an old beat up car. So for them, luxury was a Honda. I'm aiming for the Porsche, maybe a Maserati, and they want a Honda. And that's luxury to them, right? So what is luxury to you? I wanted to upgrade from my Honda. So as experience a little bit more luxury, that bar might raise a little bit for you. We're going to unpackage a little bit more of this today and how to have that sort of luxury mindset and how to feel luxurious when maybe you don't have the money to do that. We're going to talk about, what is luxury, and then I'm going to give you some tips and points on how to feel into that. So, luxury isn't always about big price tags. It's not about, all the fancy handbags and the luxury cars and the big houses and all those things. That is luxury for sure. But it can be defined even smaller than that because everyone has their own internal definition of what that is. So, like I said, you got to leave all those price tags away, but you need to know some people, luxury doesn't even matter to them. Think about if it matters to you. I love luxury. I'm a minimalist though, so it's not like I want to have 75 handbags, but boy, do I appreciate a really nice luxury bag or a luxury pair of shoes. But I don't need 45 of them. I'm a minimalist, right? So that's me and how I define. And, luxury is so subjective. Here's a piece that goes with that though. A lot of people have a lack mindset, so they don't even let themselves explore luxury. To them, it's like, they have this mindset that goes with, rich people are mean and evil and, luxury is associated with that. But it doesn't have to be. Luxury can be something simple in your own world. Yes, there are wealthy people in this world that don't do great things, but there's a lot of money out there with a lot of people doing a lot of amazing things. And it's what you believe and what you want your own experience to be. For me, I have a desire to have copious amounts of money so I can donate lots of money. And, for me, that is a luxury. I do very, very well, but I'm not at that point yet where I can just do whatever I want and have, write big checks for whatever I want. Not there yet. However, it's something I desire to, but for the good. So it's a little bit of shift in mindset for luxury. Okay. Here's a little thing though, too. The more, like, the better you treat yourself, the more naturally you're going to feel that you deserve better. So think about that again. When you treat yourself better, you're going to feel worthy of having more. You are worthy of having whatever you want. I'm a mindset money coach. I believe in the abundance in this world. And, there's a few things that play into this, and we're going to dive into those now. But I also want to talk about appreciating what you already have. Gratitude is so important for everything in life, for having more come to you, and for being able to, what you put out into the world energetically is what comes back to you. So if you have that scarcity and lack mindset, you're going to get more of that back in your life. If you feel abundant and wealthy and luxurious, you're going to get more of that back in your life. Now, I had a friend, I don't know, we're talking a long time ago, like long time ago in my 20s. And it was amazing because she had her own little apartment. It was great. And it was like luxury being in there. She could make the simplest IKEA sofa feel like you're in a luxurious space. And it's more energy that's attached to that. And she was very grateful for all the things she had and took a lot of care in what she had and how she put it together. And it showed. And energetically, when you walked into a space, it felt like a little space of luxury just because she put so much gratitude, care, and attention into what she already had. You know, if you went in there and she had all these things that were falling apart, it wasn't like they were falling apart. She put them back together, made sure they were pristine. You know, like that, I think it's a Japanese art where if something breaks, you actually fill it with gold. And you have this even more luxurious piece than a broken piece, right? Forget what the word is for that. I should have looked it up before I started this. So let's talk about, when you don't have the money, how can you actually get that sort of simple luxury in your space? So what I was just referring to, you can do small upgrades over time. It's not like you have to go out and get into debt and go change everything instantly. You can do little incremental upgrades in your life. And it might be in our circle group. We talked about this, I think it was like last year or the year before. And like, do you have holes in your sheets, for instance? And a lot of times we have the money for these things, but we just don't do the upgrade for whatever reason. You get busy or it doesn't matter to you at that moment. But every time you get in bed, it's like, oh, this doesn't feel very good because it got holes in everything. And it's like one day it's like, okay, but just go get the new set of sheets because you can, and it's going to feel so much better. And it does, but it's simple little things like that. Scented candles. You can't see it, but I can actually hear it because I get a soy candle with a wood wick in it, and it's like fire cracking kind of, it's a crackling sound, but I can hear it and smell it from just over here. And so it always feels like a little bit of luxury in my home. Plants are really great for that. Just adds to the space. Soft music, it's an ambiance is the word I'm looking for. Soft music, dim lighting. All the lights in my house are on hue. That's very expensive to do. So you don't have to do that. But here's the thing, I didn't do that all at once. I didn't go spend hundreds of dollars on all the light bulbs. Every year I add another light because it's like anywhere between 25 and 50 bucks, depends if I get a colored one or not, to change that light bulb. They last for years. I don't remember when I started that system, but I've never had to change a light bulb. Like they've never died because they last a long time. And so it's an investment. I don't change the light bulbs in here except for just to upgrade them to put those specialty bulbs in. And I use the Hue system for that. It works great. And I can change the ambience in any room with those lights. Decluttering is so important. So important for having that sense of luxury. When you have a space that's filled with crap and garbage, you cannot feel luxurious in that. You can't. And taking a little bit of time to organize, clean it up. I used to have in Vancouver, I had a cleaning and concierge company, and we would go in and declutter people's places and go through all their stuff and just get it all tidied up again. It makes such a big difference energetically for yourself. So that's your home. There's lots you can do in your home, little tiny things, making sure that things are not in disrepair. Because if you have something that's broken, it doesn't make you can't feel that luxury if it's broken. You got things broken all over the place. Self-care. What about treating yourself a little bit of luxury? And you don't have to go to the spa and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars. You can do it from home because it's simple. You can do a little face mask, a bubble bath, or like an Epsom salts bath, even better for you. Practice meditation, journaling, light a candle, put some soft music on, eat healthy, make yourself a really luxurious coffee maybe on the weekends. I eat pretty healthy during the week, but on the weekends, I actually, we often have like a Dutch pancake with fresh peaches from the farmer's market. That's what we had today. And I have organic whipping cream. So I put a little bit of organic whipping cream on my pancake and on my coffee on the weekend. That makes me feel luxurious. And so those are the real basic self-care pieces you can do. Doing something with your hair and maybe putting a mask in your hair or maybe, working at dark circles and puffy eyes, putting some tea bags under there or cucumbers, different things to help just make you feel good, right? When you're feeling good, that you put that energy out into the universe. Practicing gratitude is so important. It's going to put positive energy out there, and that's going to come back to you. Now, sometimes, if you're, especially like me, a minimalist, sometimes experiences are so much more important. And, because not everyone's into luxury in that regard. But maybe, this is more about when I talk about luxury too, it's about knowing that you're worthy of having what you want, which for some people might be defined as luxury if they've never had that. Experiences. If you want to travel somewhere, go somewhere, do something, having the ability to do that and allowing yourself that. Maybe instead of having a whole bunch of major luxuries in your house and fancy purses and all those things, you save up for an experience of a lifetime. Maybe you want to go to an African safari, or there's lots of different, maybe you want to do a trip to Europe. Maybe it's locally that you want to do something. Those can be luxurious moments too. And it doesn't have to be big trips. I just moved to a new neighborhood and we have a beautiful lake over here. And it feels like luxury to me, surrounded by beautiful big homes and the sounds coming off the water with all these animals out there, the ducks and the crickets and all that, like all the everything that's growing in there. Like there's a whole bunch in there. I don't know what half of it is. A huge amount of birds though. And it feels so good. It feels like luxury when I'm out for my walk in that area. I'm not walking on a busy street where it's loud and noisy. This is a little space of peace and it just feels good. Now, here's another one that people wouldn't necessarily qualify under luxury. But when I sit back and I look at today's world, it actually is luxury. And that is spending time with your family. In today's world, that's a bit of a luxury. Everyone's on their phones and busy doing stuff. Having quality time with your family is a little space of luxury, provided you're doing quality time. If you're just running around doing a whole bunch of stuff as opposed to spending quality time together, an activity or something together. You can learn new skills, new hobbies. Those are little pieces that are going to make you feel good. And it's building that luxury muscle, if you want to call it. Um, Now here's, if you want to really up the ante a little bit and you don't have the money, I just got back from a trip to Montreal and we stayed in a very luxury hotel. It was spectacular. Loved it. But here's the thing, if I didn't have the money for that, I probably would have went and had coffee in their coffee shop. Or I might have found the lounge and had a drink in the lounge where you get to experience that luxury for an hour or two. And it does a lot internally. It elevates your worthiness. It elevates the end. Like it just makes, if it makes you feel good, you're going to be in a higher vibration. And, I can hear some people out there saying that's just a bunch of fake stuff. You shouldn't be so materialistic. I love beautiful, simple, luxurious things. And if it's not for you, that's okay too. That's okay too. You do you, and you figure out what makes you happy. And that's all this is about. Okay? So you don't have to stay in a fancy hotel, but you can experience that little bit of luxury hanging out there. Going to a high tea at a hotel. Honestly, when you go to a high tea, it's almost as price as staying in the hotel itself because they're pretty expensive. Um, so this is all about taking small steps towards that luxury, building that luxury muscle. And it's not about even luxury, it's about building a more abundant mindset so that more can come to you. Because when you live in a lack and scarcity mindset, you're gonna get more of that, and then you're gonna get into the struggle mode. I'm all about getting people out of struggle and into an abundant mindset and having things flow to them beautifully. That's what I'm about as a coach and life and business strategist. I would love to know from you your little tips on luxury. What does, how do you have that bit of luxury? Maybe you're quite wealthy and have oodles of luxury in your life. Here's the thing though, too. I've seen people with a lot of money that don't allow themselves anything that would be resemble luxury. They just don't. They want to hoard their money, they want to invest it. They don't allow themselves any of those things. So I'd like to hear from everyone and where you're at in all of that. I find it very fascinating. And I think there's important to have a really good balance between the two, between having those luxurious moments and being responsible with your money, right? I don't want people to go out and rack up a bunch of debt just to be able to say, well, Maria says you got to have more luxury and, stuff in your life. No, you know, it's about those simple luxuries. And I love the word minimalux. It's one of my favorite words. I'm a minimalist. I don't like a whole bunch of stuff around my house. I keep it simple. But what I have is very specific and very what I need in my life and makes me feel good. So I hope you got some, different perspective out of today. We'll put it that way. And love for you to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you're listening to this to the podcast, I'd love for you to subscribe and be able to get the podcast every time it comes out. For your checking this out on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, so you get notified of the shows as they get released. And remember, it's baby steps. It's always baby steps. For everything you're doing in life, you can get way further if you're taking baby steps as opposed to taking these huge leaps and not being able to follow through continuously on that. I find baby steps get you there way faster. So, love to hear from you on your little bits of luxury and how that shows up for you in your life and what you like to do. And until then, have an amazing day, and we'll see you later.